offices.
It's a shame that it took 7 months to get Ms. Clinton in. She answered most of our questions, and I think this was a productive deposition today.
We should depose the person that is mentioned in the Epstein files almost more than any other person next to Ghislaine Maxwell, and that's Donald Trump.
Well, former Secretary of State, former Senator, former First Lady Hillary Clinton deposed today in Chappaqua, New York, as part of this Epstein file oversight committee investigation. The Clintons agreed to the questioning, and these are the topics, the deposition topics: how government allegedly mishandled the inquiry into Epstein and Maxwell, circumstances surrounding Epstein's.
Because let's be real, yeah, Epstein was popping. Well, not pop. Oh, that's not the right word to use, honestly. Maybe a bit too urban, but Epstein was operating heavily under Clinton. And there is rumor that Clinton, well, he might have been compromised by Epstein. Honestly, the whole Monica Lewinsky thing actually might have been that compromised material on Bill Clinton. So honestly, I'll be honest. I actually wish Bill Clinton had to testify before Hillary, because Bill Clinton is implicated way more than Hillary Clinton. I mean, shoot, the best we got out of Hillary is that she might be gay. I mean, I could believe that, but ain't really too much to corroborate it.
Death, how the government can tackle sex trafficking, how Epstein Maxwell worked with powerful figures to protect themselves, and possible ethics rules violations by elected officials. Now, the former president testifies tomorrow, and Hillary Clinton was asked about that.
I think it is fair to say that the vast majority of people who had contact with him before his criminal pleas in 2008 were like most people. They did not know what he was doing. And I think that that is exactly what my husband will testify to tomorrow.
And he testifies there tomorrow. Let's bring in our panel. Start there. Josh Kraushaar is a Fox News radio political analyst, Olivia Beavers of the Wall Street Journal, and Chris Ryan, host of New Hampshire Today with Chris Ryan on WGIR and iHeartRadio. Okay, Josh, your thoughts on this and where it's going?
Well, look, I felt like we were having a flashback to the 90s.
I mean, here's the thing, like I said, she's right when she says she didn't meet Epstein, but she did meet Ghislaine Maxwell. She invited Ghislaine Maxwell to one of her events. So let's be honest, she could have just been working through Ghislaine Maxwell to Epstein, because, well, they didn't want to get caught up in the same room, or people would start connecting dots, because Bill Clinton was already, meeting up with Epstein.
Hearing about the Clintons and depositions, there was a lot of political theater, and I think there's going to be a lot of fireworks tomorrow when former President Bill Clinton is going to be testifying before the committee. Don't think there were a whole lot of big headlines from Hillary Clinton's testimony. A lot of partisan bickering back and forth. The one risky thing from the Republican point of view is that they're already talking about returning fire with fire and holding a deposition again for Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, and holding Trump to testify after he leaves office. So there's a lot of political tit for tat, but Bill Clinton has a lot of explaining to do. I think there's going to be a lot of.
I mean, no, they should bring in Howard Lutnick as well. Like, he explained it a little bit, but honestly, he should. I'll be honest, he should step down over that. Like, and Lutnick is doing a great job. Let's not kid ourselves. But yeah, due to the fact that he lied about his relationship with Epstein, he should step down.
Tough questioning from the Republicans. It is very substantive questioning about his presence in the Epstein files, his trips on the helicopter with Jeffrey Epstein, and I expect it'll get very, very explosive tomorrow.
Yeah, a different kind of questioning there. Olivia, the Wall Street Journal headline story that we covered here on Special Report: DOJ to review whether Epstein files about Trump were improperly held. I think there's 53 pages in question here. It's part of this story, and as we've talked about many times, it is a never-ending story here.
It is, and the president has tried to come out and say that he's been exonerated, and then a freelance reporter seemed to come out and say that there were interviews with a woman who pointed to Mr. Trump and before he was president. And there's still a lot of questions around powerful people. So it's sort of unraveling in ways that we saw with Commerce Secretary Lutnick.
But all right, though, let's see what CNN got to say about this. See, Hillary Clinton testifies, and Epstein probe claims political targeting. Which I'm be honest with you, hey, if y'all want to go tit for tat, I ain't mad. If they want to bring in Lucknick over it and bring in Trump after his presidency, I would not be upset with that. Hey, let everybody let everybody defend themselves. We want a complete transparency, and whoever it implicates, hey, they better start getting their defense ready.
Saying, quote, if this committee is serious about. In an opening statement shared before her testimony began, Clinton criticized the committee's investigation for refusing to interview President Donald Trump, saying, quote, if this committee is serious about learning the truth about Epstein's trafficking crimes, it would not rely on press gaggles to get answers from our current president on his involvement. It would ask him directly under oath about the tens of thousands of times he shows up in the Epstein files, end quote.
What we're seeing, I think it's fair to say, is a continuing cover-up by the Trump administration. They are redacting the names of men who are in it. They are stonewalling legitimate requests from members of Congress. That has nothing to do with us. Something is going on. They know it. I know it. Why did they want to pull us into this? To divert attention from President Trump. This is not complicated. This is so obvious.
What have you been hearing from your sources about what's been going on there?
Okay.
Yeah, you know, as you said, Casey, this is a deposition that is taking place behind closed doors. It is being filmed and will be transcribed. So until the committee decides to put all of that out there, we're not going to get the full picture of what exactly is transpiring inside that deposition room. However, having said that, the Democratic lawmakers on the House Oversight Committee have already made clear they've come out and spoken with reporters and essentially said that they have yet to learn anything new from the former Secretary of State about Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell and their crimes, saying that, you know, somebody that hasn't actually ever met Jeffrey Epstein can't possibly give us the information that we are looking for that is new, that could help our investigation into Epstein. They are also using that as an opportunity to continue pressing the point that they believe there are many, many other people who should be deposed in this manner.
That's because they shouldn't have been asking her about Epstein. They should have been asking her about her relationship with Ghislaine Maxwell, and they should have pushed on that one. That one, they'd have been able to, you know, probably like undo her a little bit with that one. But they didn't. They focused on Epstein, on somebody that, well, she never met, well, physically, as far as we're concerned. So, yeah, they should have focused on Ghislaine, but I'm pretty sure that wasn't even in their head, and they were just focused on Epstein, when her ties to Epstein is only through Ghislaine Maxwell.
Including, of course, they say, the current president, President Donald Trump. In terms, Casey, of the kinds of questions that the former First Lady has been asked in that closed-door deposition, we know that she has been asked about whether she has had conversations about Epstein with some individuals close to Epstein, including...
Oh, God, do me a favor, guys. Let's go ahead and double tap that screen like the video, guys. Let's get more people on the conversation by double tapping that screen. And let's not forget to support the show with a $2 super chat with any questions, comments, jokes, or disagreements. I'll be happy to read it out loud. Like I said, just $2 and up. Now let's keep it going and double tap that screen.
Including the co-executors of his estate, like Darren Indyke or Richard Kahn. She has said no. And then at another point, I was told by a source, she essentially said, I'm not even familiar with some of these names that you are bringing up. Now, one of the many reasons, of course, that the Clintons have not been keen on sitting down for this kind of deposition is because they don't want to have questions being asked about Bill Clinton, who, of course, has a very different story when it comes to Jeffrey Epstein. He has an established relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. He has appeared in the Epstein files a whole bunch. And I was told by a source that Congresswoman Nancy Mace asked Hillary Clinton about some of Bill Clinton's actions, including what you referenced. How does she feel about the fact that she was massaged by young women? And she responded that she's not going to talk about her feelings here.
Oh, wait, what?
MJ, can you tell us a little bit more about that leaked photo, why it paused?
Okay, sources tell CNN GOP Republican Nancy Mace asked Hillary Clinton about Bill Clinton's contact with young women in deposition. I mean, I'm be real with you. That's probably a very sore spot for Hillary Clinton, considering that Bill Clinton most likely been cheating since they've been married. So, yeah, that might have been a sore spot for her.
Was the deposition how it played out?
Yeah, these were photos that appear to have been taken by Congresswoman Lauren Boebert, who sits on this committee. And in the middle of the deposition, we saw a couple of these photos being posted on Twitter, again, appear to have been taken by her. She came outside of the deposition room and spoke with reporters very briefly. She basically defended her actions and said, why not take these photos? I've not been reprimanded. And when I asked her what has stood out to her so far from this deposition of Hillary Clinton, she said, I admired her blue suit. All of this goes to say, Democrats have been calling for this deposition to be handled in public, for it to be in open press so that, reporters and others can be watching all of the questions and the answers that are going back and forth. And I'm told that the ranking member, Congressman Garcia, used that as an opportunity to, again, make that point. But we have no reason right now, Casey, to think that that's going to happen, that we're going to be allowed into the deposition room. So until then, we'll be coming to you from this parking lot.
Annie, I wanted to have you on today because of this analysis piece that you wrote. And the headline is this, quote, "For Hillary Clinton, an Epstein deposition is the latest stand by your man moment." And you write that she is once again under pressure to answer for the actions.
Nah, bro. I mean, that's funny as hell that they framed it like that. But to be real with you, she did not stand by her man. She said, "No, ask my husband." Nope, yeah, no, ask him. He got you. It's like, dang, you don't want to, like, I don't know, defend him at all? Like, nope, no defense. Ask Bill.
Relationships of her husband. And, we should also tell the audience you're a congressional correspondent now, but of course you covered Hillary Clinton's campaign for president. You really understand kind of the things that she has been through in recent history on the world stage, on the political stage. How is today playing out in Chappaqua, New York? And I think I'm particularly interested in this comment we're reporting about how she's not there to talk about her feelings.
I thought that was such an interesting line that you and MJ both cited. First of all, I think that any Republican who thinks that a question is going to rattle her about Bill Clinton and women. I mean, Trump tried to do this to her at the debate, inviting, women who have accused Bill Clinton of various things to rattle her. Like, this is not her first.
Now, isn't it a bit disturbing that she can look at alleged victims of, her husband's sexual depravity, and that doesn't rattle her? That doesn't, set you off not one bit as women. Because Lord knows that this was Donald Trump doing that, and he showed no reaction after alleged victims and all that good stuff. Y'all would call him the biggest monster ever. He's just such a cold person. Hillary does it, and oh man, she's just so like, her mind is just has such fortitude. She's an unbreakable, strong woman, a true representative of what it means to be a Democrat. Okay, she does it and she gets, championed. If Donald Trump was to do that, y'all would lose y'all shit. This is crazy. That's absolutely crazy. Yeah, looking at the victims of my husband's and, sexual depravity, and showed nothing, no remorse, no nothing, no apologies, just cold face and kept it going. And that's what they're championing right now. All right, I'll let y'all have that.
Rodeo on the issue of Bill Clinton and women. And I think that any trained lawyer would know that a question about feelings is not one you're going to answer under oath. But yeah, I mean, my piece today was looking at how, the only reason we're here, the only reason Hillary Clinton is testifying before this committee is because Bill Clinton had a relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah. And there's really it's very clear that there's no connection from Hillary to Jeffrey Epstein. She's never met him. It's a very thin strand to be pulling on. And so once again, she's being dragged in to answer questions that she would prefer not to be answering because of her husband. And in this case, this is a question about a sex offender, and we could see in Hillary's opening statement how offended she is that, as someone who's worked for women's rights, that she's being questioned as someone who would have been involved or had information about a sex trafficker. Mm-hmm. But Bill Clinton's testimony tomorrow
not her really about being a sex trafficker. Is that was her and her husband compromised by Epstein? I mean, her husband had a close relationship with Epstein, and she had a close relationship. Well, not too much of a close relationship. I won't throw under the bus like that, but she had access to Ghislaine Maxwell. She knew who Ghislaine Maxwell was, not knew of her crimes, but she knew who she was. But all right, let's get over and see what Fox is talking about on the right side of media.
And I'm sure Bill Clinton will clear this is really getting mysterious. I'm sure Bill Clinton will clear everything up tomorrow. Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna is on the Oversight Committee and was in the room with Hillary Clinton today. How did you feel she testified?
Look, I will say that she did not seem happy to be there. You can see that from her going out and making some of the statements that she did. But Jesse, you know, you kind of nailed it. Exactly what you just stated, kind of about mysterious circumstances. Although I cannot specifically state what she said in the deposition regarding what you just played, I would bet once you hear the transcription that comes out tomorrow that it's safe to assume that that might be her perspective as well.
Are we going to see video?
Yes, you'll have full video and audio similar to the Les Wexner deposition. And I will also say that, you know, there's more to come out with, but there's
yeah, the Lex Wexner deposition was wild. Like, guys, you can literally look this up right now. His lawyer literally leaned over and said, if you answer one more fucking questions with more than 5 words, I'm gonna kill you. And then bro just like laughed it off like it was a joke or something. And this was like a hot mic moment, and this actually happened. So it's pretty crazy what's going on right now. Like, man, you think his lawyer is like the mob or something.
it got kind of heated at some points.
So she was asked a lot about her husband. No one thinks Hillary Clinton was involved in sex trafficking or doing anything with children. I mean, that's clear. But and her husband's obviously, you know, no one's accusing him of anything. Yeah. But she was asked a lot about her husband's relationship with Epstein. And she said she couldn't remember. You'd have to ask him.
You know, there's something in regards to when someone's put under oath, there's protected communications between spouses. And so there was a lot of that. But what I will also say is what's going to be particularly interesting for the president is that, and President Clinton tomorrow, that is, in his depositions, and is that at a certain point, I think that, you know, this does kind of, was this a honeypot operation? Was this intentional? These are all questions. And I will say specifically, Jesse, when I was asking her questions, I was very focused on the potential of the foreign intelligence ties, and also too about whether or not she believes specifically we should open up investigations into some of these co-conspirators that were women. And that seems to be something that the liberal media does not want to touch or talk about. And so I encourage everyone to look into that, because there's a lot there. And I will also state that if you are looking at Jeffrey Epstein's people that he interacted with specifically, I definitely think it's safe to say I think the American people agree with me. And I would say, even though Secretary Clinton might not have been able to officially—
we got 500 y'all in here, man. Do me a favor and double tap that screen like the video, guys. Let's get more people on the conversation by double tapping that screen. If you got any questions, comments, jokes, or disagreements, help us hit the goal to open up the call-in line in Conspiracy Hour by sending in a super chat or a Venmo. All right, though, back to the show.
Admitted that she did seem to at least be perceptive to the idea that he was tied to foreign intelligence. And she also had stated that we should follow up on specific ties with him in regards to the 3 countries that were listed by the Epstein attorneys, Russia, Iran, and Israel, in relationship to whether or not it was potentially a foreign intelligence operation. That was interesting.
That is interesting. It does seem to be a honeypot operation, and he does seem very closely tied to Israel, but also looks to be double dipping. He was in between a lot of sectors. The Ghislaine situation.
Peddling information.
Right. Ghislaine, I mean, I don't know if she was intelligence. She might have been tied up in the whole thing. She was a co-conspirator. She's in prison. But the times that she was at Chelsea's wedding, I mean, the rumors.
I mean, you know, let's throw a little bit of conspiracy in. Why? Because it's fun. So anybody seen that picture of Ghislaine Maxwell, you know, during her, what was it? Her second time in court, where she was just saying, you know, I plead the fifth, right? You know, everybody started bringing up her face. Like, hold on. I mean, is that the actual Ghislaine Maxwell? Like, something's going on here. She looks different. So now all of a sudden we're trying to say that not only did Epstein might not have died, he might actually be alive, but Ghislaine might have been let free and actually out and about living her best life because of, well, I guess the prison pictures was looking a little funny, like right here, right? So this is a regular picture of Ghislaine, and then this is Ghislaine when she was in front of the court. So, and you know what? I blame age. I'm a reasonable guy. I just blame age. But a lot of people are going off saying that, oh, that's not Ghislaine in jail. They let her go. The cover up continues. I know, right? Crazy. But let's get back to it.
Were obvious. I mean, she was involved in Epstein's lifestyle, and we know now that she participated in procuring the women. Hillary didn't. She didn't get that.
Look, I am a candidate. I've been a candidate for office. I'm an elected official. And when you have top tier donors, of which the Epstein Maxwell entire apparatus was, you know the names of your donors and individuals. And I do find it hard to believe that she didn't know of the relationship between the two. Obviously, you had said that there is White House log.
Yeah, I mean, there you go. Invited her to a wedding, a couple events outside of that. Yeah, she knew who Ghislaine was. You invited her to the wedding. She was on the list as a friend of who? I do not know. So I'll give them that.
That Epstein attended.
But say they were a friend of somebody who was close to the family and the Clintons.
White House many times. There's also two reports of Ghislaine Maxwell kind of in and out of the same circles. And so, you know, I think the question is whether or not they were being targeted, but also too, remember, you know, when you hear the Clintons specifically say, oh, well, Bill Clinton cut all ties with Jeffrey Epstein before the actual charges were brought forward. Well, remember, President Trump has said the same thing. And yet the way that the DNC, the way that the Democrats are trying to use this is to smear the president. And I actually brought this up in the press gaggle today, in that we've asked the victims specifically on whether or not President Trump had hurt them. And he was exonerated. He released the files, and they don't want to report that. What they want to try to do is take this and have us say on record whether or not we will subpoena the president to come testify, in which I respond, the president is not considered a person of interest in this investigation. He's been nothing but cooperative, at least with us and members of the task force. And I think that his record will reflect that he has released all files. It was also interesting to note that we inquired on how.
I mean, here's the damn shame. Like, if Trump would have just released that BS binder that Pam Bondi released at the beginning, then he'd have still done more on releasing the Epstein files than any other president. I mean, Clinton, Bush, I mean, Obama, I mean, Biden. He'd have done more than all of them, because all of them swept this under the rug. And I'm be real with you, like, Epstein been moving like this for a while now. So let's not sit here and pretend like the most hasn't been exposed under Trump. Like, let's keep it real. Now, I do understand that there was some arm training that had to be done, but the fact is that more was done about the Epstein list under Trump than any other president that Epstein was operating under.
How many files did President Biden release? The answer is 0.
You're right. Well, keep up the heat. Everyone's looking forward to seeing what Bill has to say tomorrow. Thank you, Anna Paulina Luna.
Hey, Sean Hannity here.
But all right, though, let's go ahead and get to the next one, because, man, Jesse Waters completely goes in on her at this point, and Bill.
She testified behind closed. Fox News alert, the Epstein scandal's rocking Chappaqua. Today, Hillary went under oath and was grilled about the Clintons' relationship with the dead pedophile. She testified behind closed doors, but the deposition was being recorded. At any minute, we could get the tapes. When it wrapped.
Oh, guys, let's make sure to support the show so we can get to the goal and keep the stream going longer.
Hillary came out and said this.
I don't know how many times I had to say I did not know Jeffrey Epstein. I never went to his island. I never went to his homes. I never went to his offices. So it's on the record numerous times.
Now we're into her testimony. It went off the rails. A photo of Hillary was leaked from inside. All hell broke loose, and Crooked's team stormed out.
The hearing just went off the record for a moment because it seems, as some of you may have seen, that there were some photographs shared on social media, which is against chamber rules that were read at the top of the meeting. So The hearing has been paused briefly while they figure out where the photo came from.
Congresswoman Lauren Boebert texted the pic to the press, and Hillary complained it was against the rules. I don't think she liked how she looked.
We had a bit of a challenge in the beginning.
Yeah, she got mad that Benny Johnson took a picture of her during the deposition, or during her testifying, because yeah, he was there in attendance. I mean, shout out Benny Johnson. You can always see him out on the watch. Well, I'm be real with you. He's probably like, bro, he's probably the influencer that visits the White House the most.
Because we had agreed upon
Charlie Kirk,
rules
but now it's
based on the fact it was going to be a closed hearing at their demand. And one of the members violated that rule, which was very upsetting because it suggested that they might violate other of our agreements.
Hillary made a fuss to chew up clock because she didn't want to be there. She testified that she never met Epstein, even though he'd been to the White House 16 times. It was supposed to be a co-presidency, remember? A 2-for-1 deal. Hillary moved her office into the West Wing, but Hillary doesn't remember.
The number of times that she said, "I don't know, you'll have to ask my husband," was more than a dozen, and I'll put it like that.
Maybe they didn't meet, maybe they did, but Bill does a lot of things when Hillary's not looking. But this email's interesting. In the Epstein files, someone emailed the sex offender, quote, "I know you are..."
I mean, come on now. We all know that Bill Clinton cheats on Hillary relentlessly, recklessly. The man honestly don't give a damn. Like, bro, there's a picture of this man, like, literally partying with 2 girls, and he's looking down one of their shirts. I mean, this man is reckless.
Close with Hillary, but if she gets the nomination and you vote for her, I'll effing kill you.
Oh.
Did Hillary meet Epstein? Maybe, maybe for her.
Hold on, what?
I know you are close with Hillary, but if she gets the nomination and you vote for her, I'll effing kill you.
Oh.
Did Hillary meet Epstein? Maybe, maybe not. But we do know this.
I knew Ghislaine Maxwell casually as an acquaintance, but whatever they asked me, I did my very best to respond.
Epstein's accomplice, Ghislaine, went to Chelsea Clinton's wedding. When she was asked about this, she ran like the wind.
Can I ask, why was Ghislaine Maxwell invited to the girlfriend Chelsea Clinton's wedding in 2010? She'd already been mentioned in a civil lawsuit by Virginia Giuffre before that. Jeffrey Epstein already.
Oh.
She came as the +1, the guest of someone who was invited.
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
Thank you all.
We don't know who did.
Yeah, she got through. I mean, yeah. So how do you explain Jeffrey Epstein's, right-hand woman, co-conspirator being at your daughter's wedding? I mean, you claim that you don't know her like that. And I mean, mainly people know Ghislaine through Epstein. They kind of worked hand in hand, to be honest. So, I mean, if that's all you got to say, then it is what it is. But it does not vindicate you. You did not vindicate yourself, and you did not give no trust. There was no trust that I have now of Hillary Clinton that I never had any trust in the first place. But I was giving her the benefit of the doubt. Due to that answer, I'm just like, I mean, come on, you don't want to explain who the +1 is? Like, who's the +1? Like, this is your chance.
Did spend a lot of time with Epstein, Bill Clinton. There's dozens of photos in the files. Here's Bubba and a girl in a hot tub. Hillary says her hubby was just saving lives.
It wasn't a hot tub on a plane. It was one of the stops they made to look at philanthropic and charitable work that my husband has done, saving literally millions of lives around the world. It turned out that was done long before there was any public awareness and certainly any conviction of any crime by Jeffrey Epstein. So it was a short period of time that was in pursuit of charitable philanthropic work.
Charitable work.
Really?
That's a new name for it.
I mean,
here's Bill doing more charity.
I mean, damn, you couldn't have tried a little better with that one. Charitable work. I mean, bro's in a hot tub with women and Ghislaine Maxwell. I mean, Hillary, this does not look good.
We all know how much Bill loves to give back. The former president will have his chance to set the record straight tomorrow when he goes under oath. But we all know how he got the name Slick Willie.
Damn.
Is that correct? Yeah, it depends upon what the meaning of the word is. Yes.
Hillary says she's not worried. Bill would never do something inappropriate.
Are you 100% confident that there isn't anything that the former president knows about Epstein's crimes?
I am, and I think the chronology of the connection that he had with Epstein ended several years before anything about Epstein's criminal activities came to light.
If anybody thinks this is some partisan witch hunt, or as the Clintons call it, a vast right-wing conspiracy, you're wrong.
I think one thing that surprised the Clintons, they assumed the Democrats on the committee would vote in a partisan manner and not vote to hold the Clintons in contempt. And what they learned was a majority of the Democrats on the committee either voted to hold the Clintons in contempt or voted present.
The Epstein fallout has Clinton and Obama operatives dropping like flies. Yesterday, Larry Summers had to resign from his position at Harvard. And now it's come out that not only did the Ivy League take $9 million from the perv, they gave him his own office.
Shout out, because Larry Summers had no real excuse to why he hired this guy Epstein. Like, the man had no skill, like, at all, but you hired him and you gave him such a high position, put him on the board, gave him all this influence, and he doesn't have any of the qualifications. Like, what's going on here? No real excuse, none at all.
And Harvard faculty was accepting free flights and business deals from the sex trafficker. Epstein was giving Larry Summers consulting gigs in places like Mongolia and Kazakhstan. Like we've been saying, it's going global. The head of the World Economic Forum, you know, the guys who tell us to eat insects, Borge Brende, suddenly resigned because of the Epstein files. One of the Rothschilds, you know, the European banking dynasty, all over the Epstein files. And the Swiss bankers, all they're saying so far is they're monitoring the situation. J.B. Pritzker's cousin, Thomas, just resigned from the board of Hyatt Hotels. JB's like, I only see my cousin on holidays.
A cousin of yours has been in the news with regards to the Epstein files, Thomas Pritzker. He just recently resigned from the board of the Hyatt company.
Look, I've said from the beginning that anyone that's done something wrong needs to be held accountable. And I really mean anyone. I'm not close to my cousin, but I can tell you that it's very important that people be held to pay the price for whatever it is that they may have done.
There are millions of documents in the Epstein files, and we're just starting to go through them. Everyone's on edge, even Epstein's own brother.
I didn't see him for 7 years before he died, although we were always in communication with phones and emails. So I didn't know what he was up to. A lot of the stuff that's come out is surprising to me. I wasn't aware of a lot of this stuff. And I'm going to say, like, with him, even though he's my brother, that was his problem. And now that he's dead, it's not his problem anymore. So again, unfortunately, I really don't care, to be honest with you. I'm just concerned that my brother, whoever and whatever he was murdered. That's my concern.
But you care about the victims, I presume, of your brother.
Yeah, I mean, if you didn't know, yeah, Jeffrey Epstein's brother does not believe that he committed suicide. His own brother is like, no, somebody murdered my brother. I don't care what he did. Somebody murdered my brother, and he's been trying to find out. He said he's gotten experts to look at the body, and they've all concurred that, well, this was a murder. Now, this is coming from Jeffrey Epstein's brother, Mark Epstein.
These are the questions I don't get into. So have a good day.
Whoa.
The Telegraph also reports that Epstein paid private detectives to remove items from his Florida property ahead of a police raid.
Oh, man. And shout out to my man, the lunatic libertarian. He says Hillary Clinton equals Wiener's laptop. Bill equals Epstein files. And, man, you ain't wrong about that, my friend. I'll tell you that. You're spot on. So, shout out. Oh, and well, also, bro, that guy Anthony Weiner, bro, I remember him on PBD. Oh my goodness, it was on his ass about that laptop, and then when he started biting back at them, yeah, bro. If you ain't seen Anthony Weiner on PBD, bro, go watch that. That was a wild podcast.
They hid it in a secret storage locker, which contained 3 computers, videotapes, sex slave manuals, and illicit photographs. A Palm Beach lockup contained 29 address books, a 3-page list of masseuses, and tons of porn. The Palm Beach police chief said Epstein's home had been cleaned up and certain computer material was missing, including surveillance equipment. We also found out last night that the DOJ had labeled Epstein's suicide as a murder in some documents. There were also questions about the noose.
The forensic pathologist who was hired.
Oh, and shout out to Toasty Buns, hilarious, for the laughing disco for $2.50, and shout out for Toasty Buns coming in again for the clapping seal for $2.50. Appreciate the support. I just seen the gifts.
By Jeffrey Epstein's brother to observe the autopsy, said that there was no blood on the noose, even though there's blood on Jeffrey Epstein's neck in the photographs. We're learning from the documents that the guard